Hello and welcome back. So you're listening to Koast Radio at 106.6 FM and we're happy to have you here. Sunday night, it's the Incredible Sunday Show with an incredible, beautiful, fabulous and wonderful guest. I'll have you blushing, Anne. So welcome, Anne English. Thank you for being here.
It's wonderful to be here. This is a nice thing to do on a Sunday night.
Glenda and I are so happy to have you here. So can I introduce you?
Yes,
say a little
please.
bit about you?
Yeah.
No, I gave you a bit of teaser earlier if you were listening in. So Anne English is a founder, a creator, a speaker, an author, and so much more. But you're going to learn all that from our conversation tonight. So Anne, you're the founder of your business, Intrigue. You're a TEDx speaker. You are an author of your Clarity Quest IdeasBook, a proud Northeast lass.
Yes.
And you love that you live in the incredible northeast of England. It's just your happy place.
I love it.
Love it. Aren't we lucky when you live where you live is the place you most love?
Yeah.
And where your heart is. It's gorgeous. So you work both, not are you just only a local person, but you're global in the work you do.
Yeah, and anybody can be global, can't they now? Because we can access
Absolutely
digitally anywhere in the world, so that's
so much
brilliant,
easier.
isn't it?
You're a visual communicator. Now that's really interesting, so I think we need to find out more about that. I know about this because I know your work, but for people listening in, we want to know about how you ignite ideas in people and that you help people take all the good ideas out of their head and communicate it in a way that makes sense and turn it into reality. You enabled trailblazing founders, coaches, creators to bring all of that to life and to beautiful work. And you've realised your dreams working. So this is the bit. Anne realised her dream was working for the big three. All I'm going to say is Santa Claus, Willy Wonka and
Yes.
Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
So that's that is the best introduction ever. Like, where do we go with that? So Anne, enough about me talking about you. Tell us a wee bit about yourself in your own words. Like, what do you love most about your work?
Well, ideas. That's at the heart of everything. So I say that if I was a stick of rock, if you imagine a stick of rock and that you were to cut me in half, the word ideas is in the centre of that. So what I do is help people to bring their ideas to life, because ideas are intangible and you can't see them. So what I do is I make them tangible and visible.
That's incredible. To me, it's like, for anybody who listens to Harry Potter or watched Harry Potter movies, the pensive, taking, like when he took his wand and put it to the person's head and pulled all the stuff from the person's mind out, and you could see it in front of you in the water. I think that's what you do.
Yeah.
I think you pull out and help people understand what it is they're trying to do and what they're trying to communicate in a really clever way.
Can I have an example? Could you share an example that we could?
Okay, so one of the things that I do is I call it vision mapping, and I create vision trees, which are visual business plans. So I tend to think of ideas. You know how people think ideas float up above your head, but I actually believe that the foundations to everything. So ideas should be grounded. So yeah, ideas are just so valuable. But has anybody ever said to you, can I just pick your brains? They want your ideas, but actually quite often they're not valued. So by making them visible, by making something like a mind map, a vision tree, vision mapping, you can see them. I also create doodles, because if you want to communicate an idea, quite often, I mean, the old fashioned used to say back of a fag packet, or you used to say also, people used to use napkins, didn't they, to communicate ideas?
Yeah, they did.
Scribble down all your ideas.
Yeah. So if you can doodle ideas to get them out of your head and then share them with other people, that's what I do. So when I hear words, I actually see pictures in my head. So I've only recently discovered that I've got something called hyperphantasia. And that means that I've got a really vivid imagination and that I can visualize things in my head. So my head's full of images, maps, pictures, all of that kind of thing.
What a beautiful brain you have. Really beautiful.
Well, yeah.
and in your work, one of the things I've learned from you is that that often we have ideas and we sort of downgrade them as being, okay, it's just a thing or it's just an idea. But you talk a lot about that thing where when someone says, oh, but, you know, it's just, and you say, well, it's your, like, the thing that you know, your ideas and what you can do is your superpower, but because it's so natural and normal to you, you don't realise how valuable it is.
Yes. So other people recognise our ideas in us when they say, can I pick your brains? And often we go, oh, it's just, because what we do is we minimise actually what we know because it comes naturally to us. So that word just, quite often that reveals what your superpower is. The other thing is, you were saying about my, you know, living in my mind, saying about working for Santa Claus, Willy Wonka and Mickey Mouse. I don't think I've grown up. I don't think I want to grow up. You know, living in that world of your imagination means that you can dream, you can imagine whatever it is that you want.
I love that. I just think if we can add on to that to say, if you get to, I don't know, 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 and you haven't grown up yet, you don't actually have to. It's actually like a rule, isn't it? It's just like, don't grow up. You don't have to. Yeah. You can grow old. Can't control it, but we don't have to grow up. And
I want to give a shout out to my dad, who I believe is listening tonight. I mean, he's going to be 90. You'd be happy that I'm telling you that. But, you know, there is a saying, it was George Bernard Shaw, that said, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And my dad still plays hide and seek with the dog. You know, he hasn't stopped playing. He's still got that fun side to him. And I believe that that's, you know, it's something we can all have, that childlike curiosity. Who says we'll have to grow up?
Well, a big, massive shout out to Anne's dad, who is a gorgeous human. So, over to you.
Well, I have no doubt that there are people going, Willy Wonka? What?
Well, it all started with an idea. Yes. So Willy Wonka was because it was actually for my 40th birthday. I was looking for something different for the party. I knew it was going to be a themed party, and I googled, like you do, you know, different things. I was thinking maybe a magician, and I came across a chocolate fountain. Now at that time I'd never ever seen a chocolate fountain. They didn't have them in Thorntons at that time, so when I saw it I just thought, oh, I'm gonna have one of these at my party. So my husband's an engineer, so I said to him, John, can you go and find us a chocolate fountain? I set him off on that quest. And he came back and he said, you know, these are something quite new in the northeast of England, certainly in the UK, they're big in America. So we ended up importing a chocolate fountain so that we could use it for the party. But then that evolved into a business. So that was our Friday and Saturday night out, going to other people's parties with the chocolate fountain. We called ourselves Charlie's Chocolate Factory. And it's proof again that if you've got an idea and you've got a passion and you want to do something, just do it. Who's stopping you?
It. Absolutely. And this went. This became a 10. Did you say 10 years?
Yeah, we ran it for 10 years. It was our night out. Yeah.
And I'm sure, I don't know about anybody else, but as soon as you mentioned chocolate, I was like, oh, let's be friends.
Yes, we've got a lot of friends.
Must have made you popular. Yeah. So going on from there, Santa Claus?
Yeah, so I went to our college and I did visual communications. I specialised in graphic design, and the business that I first worked for, well, I actually did body shop windows, because the owner ended up, we're talking way back in the 80s here, with Anita Roddick. So he owned some body shops, so I ended up doing their window displays. And then the next company that I worked for, taking that display side of it, if you remember way back when the Metro Centre opened,
yes,
that was one of the first, and it was the biggest shopping centres in Europe. So there wasn't that kind of thing that we'd ever seen before. And a little company in the northeast called Centre Design was set up to install Christmas decorations, but not just install them, to design them, because these shopping centres were so huge that anything that you put in there, if you put a normal sized Christmas tree in, it just shrunk. It was as if by magic everything just went small, because the shopping centres were so large. So that business was set up by the two founders, and then I was the first person to join that business. So I worked there for 25 years. And that was where our imagination could run wild, because we ended up having product designers, people that made the costumes, animatronics, dressed Christmas trees.
My goodness.
At that time, it was at home, the Christmas trees were tinsel and lights. So it was, you know, gold Christmas trees with multicoloured lights. But the company that I worked for was the first company to use more traditional garland and white lights, which is what you see now. So yeah, for 25 years I worked for Santa Claus, so
Wow.
yeah,
That
dream job.
magic of Christmas.
Dream job.
Chocolate and the magic of Christmas.
Of course, why not?
Already. I want to hear more. I've got
Mhm.
lots more questions, and I know you do as well, don't you, Glenda? But we're going to have a break. We're going to have some more tunes. So what have we got coming up